Yo, you're watching a Screaming Fish here, people, and once again, I am here for yet another video, but this time, it's a different kind of video. If you're a follower of my Instagram, you'll probably have seen one of my more recent posts, which is basically a Nightmare Batman, standing in front of a demolished city, and in the background is a faded Superman. And basically, it's my idea of a fan-made Injustice poster, and I also said in the comments section that it was both a teaser for this video and a fan-made poster. So, as you can imagine by the title, this is a theory about the Injustice storyline and where I think the DCU is actually leading to. And also, this is going to be a two-part video because one, the script has gotten insanely long to the point that I just cannot do it all in just the one runtime. So basically, this is going to be the start of it. Basically, this is going to be the start of what I think is going to happen and how it's all going to start. And then the second part of the video, which is going to be the final part, is going to be the aftermath of it, if that makes sense. So, also, I'd just like to point out there's going to be some pretty big spoilers for Batman v Superman, but in particular one scene, and possibly a few other DCEU movies along the way. So, if you haven't seen those movies, I would advise you go watch them first, but seeing as how the reviews have been doing for all three of those movies, I sort of see the only plausible option people would pick is Suicide Squad. But either way, I'm just putting the option out there. So, without further ado, let's get to it. And yes, as you can imagine, this is going to contain spoilers for the Injustice storyline. Possibly. I mean, admittedly, I haven't read the comic, which is something I probably should have done, but unfortunately I couldn't have the time. So, basically, my belief about that weird dream sequence with the Nightmare Batman is actually the future. Yes, I know, I'm not the only person who believes this. I'm just saying what I think. And my guess is that this dream sequence is actually set sometime during or after the Injustice storyline, and that everything that's happening in the DCU right now is leading up to this becoming a reality. I think this because of four things. One, the demolished city you can see when Batman is looking over at the convoy that is, like, rolling across the Darkseid symbol, and I'm pretty sure that city is most likely Metropolis, possibly Gotham. Two, the Darkseid symbol you see embedded in the ground, like the really big one, that's almost impossible to miss. Three, the line of dialogue that Superman says to Batman before he, kills him. And four, the weird Flash cameo scene that comes straight after the dream sequence. So now let's get into what I think is going on here. So first off, I think that events, and by that I mean the actual dream sequence, takes place after the second Justice League movie, which I'm pretty sure is when we'll finally see the Justice League take on Darkseid. I'm pretty sure that the demolished city you see in the beginning of the dream sequence is the result of Darkseid's attack on Earth and the Justice League fighting back. And I think it's sometime after that something happens between Batman and Superman that makes Superman believe that Batman kills Lois instead of it being Doomsday like it was in the comics. But, however, in the comics, it was, in fact, the Joker who did something to Superman to make him think that he was fighting Doomsday, when, in fact, he was beating the heck out of Lois Lane. What I think is going to happen is that the Joker is going to do something to Superman. He most likely drug him like he did in the Injustice storyline. And I think he's probably going to, take Lois Lane hostage, and basically because of the drug that he's given Superman, Joker is going to threaten Superman, but to Superman that's going to sound like Batman because the drug is doing something to his mind. So basically he's going to go to where Joker has Lois Lane captive, and basically when he gets there she's probably going to be dead, I think, and the Joker is going to be stood above the body, I think. But he's not going to see the Joker. He's looking at Batman. So basically, when he I'm pretty sure Superman is going to kill the Joker in this part, but he thinks he's killing Batman, because the reason I think Superman would do that, because Lois Lane is the one thing Superman cares about the most. So, and also because, well, yeah, basically that he's the one thing, Lois Lane is the one thing that Superman cares about the most. So he's probably gonna just be so enraged to the point that he just will not care who it is that he's killing. He's going to kill the person that killed his beloved wife, basically. So he's going to kill the Joker, who but at this point he still thinks it's Batman. And yeah, he kills the Joker, as you can imagine. So at this point, Superman is enraged to the point where he just cannot control himself. So I think Batman is going to confront Superman later about what has happened. But when Superman sees Batman is actually alive, he's going to try and kill him because, again, he still thinks it's Batman that killed Lois Lane. Batman, being the world's greatest detective, obviously will make a lucky escape somehow, possibly in a Batmobile or through a secret tunnel. Again, you know Batman these days. He's always got something. He's always got a Batman plan, as I called it. So, Batman will probably most likely inform the other members of the Justice League about the state Superman is in and that he is beyond any help at this point. And the only thing they can do is fight back, because Superman's rage at this point is uncontrollable. There's literally no reasoning with him when Superman is in this state. However, when Batman and the rest of the Justice League attack Superman, this does not go well, I think. And pardon me. And Superman, in his enraged state, kills most of the Justice League, except Batman and Flash, and possibly a few others. Admittedly, I think there's two scenarios that could go down here. One is what I've just talked about there, about Superman killing most of the Justice League members, and two is basically the scenario where Superman does something to kind of threaten the other Justice League members and make them join his side. So the characters I can imagine joining his side most likely are Wonder Woman and Aquaman, because Superman is probably going to threaten to destroy Atlantis, and he's probably going to threaten to destroy Wonder Woman's homeland, and they probably, because of Superman's immense power and the amount of power he has compared to them, they're probably going to have no choice. So they're gonna have to do what he says unless they actually want they don't care about their homes anymore. So basically, Superman is probably going to threaten Wonder Woman and Aquaman, saying that if you do not help me out, I'm going to destroy your homes. That's probably what I think is going to happen. So now, obviously, it won't be Batman who kills Lois Lane, which is why I think it's the Joker that kills her, but he does something to Superman that makes him think it's Batman. Batman was the one that killed her. The reason I would say the Joker, out of literally anyone else, is that he is the only villain in this universe so far that I can think of that would be willing to do something like that, because the Joker hates Batman more than any other villain in a DC universe, and like I said, a couple of times before in a few other videos, the Joker is Batman's greatest foe. But you're probably going to want to know, why would the Joker risk getting killed by Superman just to kill Batman? Joker isn't dumb. He's actually pretty darn smart. So he would know the risks of going forward with this plan. And I think at this point in the DCEU, he would be willing to do anything to get rid of Batman for good, in terms of where he would get the actual drug or whatever he's going to use on Superman. He would potentially, I think he would potentially get it from Lex Luthor. I think or someone from Luthor Corp, because that's the most likely scenario I can see happening. And it also pretty much depends on who gets introduced and who dies in future movies. So, the second part of it, which is why I think Batman and the Flash would be the only members to either survive or not be threatened by Superman. well, like the only evidence I have to support that is the fact that Batman and the Flash are the only other members of the Justice League seen in that dream sequence, minus Superman. And yes, I know that there is a possibility that Wonder Woman went back to the Amazons, or that Aquaman went back to Atlantis, but I think they would be willing to stay and fight back, and or possibly they would, or like I said earlier, they would fight back at first, but they would be threatened by Superman. That if, like I said, they would probably be threatened by Superman. That if they didn't serve him, he would destroy their homes, and I think Superman would probably do that in that state, because that is probably because the state I'm imagining Superman in at the moment, when if this comes true, is the same state he was in Injustice, like just really kind of dictator-like, if you know what I mean. And also Wonder Woman is not as powerful as Superman, evidently, because as seen in the trailer for her own movie, you can see she's actually struggling to deflect the bullets off her shield when she's coming off the trenches, and when she gets shot in the foot, her armor deflects the bullet, but her foot goes sliding back, so she's not as strong as Superman. And as for Cyborg, I can sort of imagine him dying, to be honest. So, yeah, there's that sorted. So, Batman and the Flash are the only ones left standing against Superman, and together they form the resistance against Superman, as Superman assumes dictatorship over the world. At this point, Superman will have calmed down, but a little bit, but he'll probably be in a state of mind where he believes the only way he can protect the world is to control it. So in other words, his rage and killing of most of the Justice League, possibly, I say that because I've just explained why that probably couldn't happen, and the fact that he thinks Batman killed Lois Lane will have put him in a state of mind and done something psychologically to him, which would lead him to pretty much taking over the world. So guys, that is the first part of my Injustice theory. Do hope you enjoyed it. You can correct me in the comments if you think I've gotten stuff wrong, and I will mention that in the next part. Again, do hope you enjoy it, and I will indeed see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, guys.